Hello and welcome. My name is Kelsey Salmon. I'm a senior solution engineer here at Checkmarx. Today we're going to go over using the Checkmarx One extension in the Eclipse IDE. To use Checkmarx One within Eclipse is really easy. We'll go ahead and download the extension from the Eclipse marketplace. Go ahead and search for Checkmarx, and we can simply install the Checkmarx One plugin. Once we install the plugin, we'll just need to configure it. Go to the Checkmarx One preferences and enter our API key. To get our API key, we go to the Checkmarx One dashboard and go to the IAM section. We'll go to the API key section and create a key. Once we've created the key, we can test the connection and validate that we've authenticated to Checkmarx One. Now we can start utilizing the results given to us within Eclipse. So we can pull down our appropriate project from the Checkmarx One project list. We can select the appropriate branch as well as the latest scan. If you don't see the Checkmarx One window here, we can simply go to Window, Show View, Other, and clicks the Checkmarx One scan. Now we'll be in our bottom browser window. To look at results, we can simply click on the drop down here to be given the results from each of our engines. You can see we have our SAST, SCA, and infrastructure as code results presented to us. I can also trim down my result view by clicking the filter button. So if I only want to filter for highs, for example, I can easily do that. I can also filter with the state button. So maybe I'm only interested in the confirmed or urgent vulnerabilities. I can filter down easily to get to those. If I want to run a new scan on my workspace, I have that ability to do that as well with this play button. Now let's look at some results. So going into our static results, we can look at the vulnerability categories and line of code of each vulnerability. Go ahead and click into one. And you can see we're giving a vulnerability description of what the vulnerability is. We can see any changes that were made as well. These changes will live with the vulnerability throughout the life of the vulnerability. So maybe I enter a comment or I change the state or status, that will update with the vulnerability. I can also follow the attack vector to see the data flow that Checkmarx One SAST engine went through to find the vulnerability, so I can understand from source to sink where the vulnerability exists. I can click the Learn More tab to learn about the risk, cause, and general recommendations of how to fix this potential vulnerability. So you can see here, we're recommending for this cross-site scripting vulnerability to fully encode the dynamic data, and you can have a whitelist, blacklist, also restrict things like the data type, size, range, and format. If this isn't enough info, we even give additional context with remediation examples. So I'm giving code examples to help me fix this particular vulnerability. You'll also notice this Learn More at Code Bashing link. This is where I can click to get a bite-sized 5 to 10 minute video of this vulnerability category. So I can go into code bashing, spend 5 or 10 minutes to do a gamified live environment about cross-site scripting. And so I can come back to my IDE with that knowledge and apply it to learn more. This way I'm learning as a developer and also fixing the vulnerability at the same time. Now, after I've made my changes, as stated, I can go and rescan this project simply with a click, and it'll create a scan and send it to Checkmarx. And that's looking at a SaaS result within the Eclipse. All right, now let's check out some SCA results within the Eclipse IDE. So I've expanded my SCA results and I'm only looking at the high vulnerabilities. I can click on a CVE to get its description, as well as understand any changes that were made. I can change the state as well as status, and I can see package data like the advisory, issue, pull request, and commit links. If I need to learn more, I can also click the code bashing link to learn more about this particular CVE. Now let's look at some infrastructure as code vulnerabilities within Eclipse. I can expand my infrastructure as code results and click on a vulnerability. I'm given a description of what the vulnerability is. I can enter a comment about this vulnerability as well as change the state and status. And I can go to the file location easily with the file link. I can see here, I'm given the highlighted portion of where the vulnerability exists in my infrastructure as code file. Once I'm done fixing things, I can go ahead and click this play button to start a new scan. And that's a quick overview of using the Checkmarx One plugin in the Eclipse IDE. For more videos and info, go check us out at checkmarx.com.